The day Sophia graduated in Boston, the sun poured down like honey. The diploma in her hands made her feel both relieved and terrified. Friends went off to celebrate while she quietly boarded the night bus back to Brooklyn. Her family's rented house sat between two rows of aging red brick buildings, smelling of damp moss and motor oil from the garage where Henry, her father, worked as a mechanic. Laura, her mother, sorted piles of laundry for neighbors. To anyone passing by, they were just another working-class family, maybe even poor. Sophia hugged them tightly, never knowing that beneath those warm clothes were two powerful CEOs, quietly managing a billion-dollar investment empire from the shadows. Sophia didn't know. She only saw one thing. Starting tomorrow, her life depended on her own strength. Henry laid his calloused hand on her shoulder. Do what you want, Soph. If you're hungry, the kitchen's here. If you're tired, this is home. Laura handed her a steaming cup of ginger tea. Don't ever let anyone tell you you're not enough. Just go. The next morning, Sophia opened her old laptop on the kitchen table, drafting plans for a warehouse management platform aimed at small and mid-sized businesses. The idea came from hearing Henry complain about lost parts, greasy paper ledgers ruined by oil stains. She wrote product notes, built a data model, persuaded classmates to code with her. One agreed, then quit. Another demanded big shares without contributing. Swallowing disappointment, Sophia taught herself back-end coding, rented the cheapest server in New Jersey, worked till her fingers ached, then opened a cafe at dawn, delivered food at noon, typed till midnight. Her palms blistered, her eyes bruised. The first month was failure after failure. At a pitch in Queens, a small-time investor skimmed her slides and smirked. Who are you? Daughter of a mechanic and a laundress? Everyone in this city has an idea. Tell me who's your boyfriend? Who's backing you? Sophia smiled thinly, packed her deck, walked into the cold East River wing. She had neither. Her first breakthrough came with Morales, who ran a warehouse in Long Island. He looked her over. Kid, what's this software thing? Let me install it free for a month, Sophia offered. If you see results, then pay. 7 days later, after nights sleeping between metal shelves, patching bugs while teaching staff how to scan barcodes, Morales called at dawn. No more lost inventory. I'll pay. Sophia wept at the first real payment earned from her own intellect. But success was fragile. Another client defaulted on payment. A programmer stormed out, stealing client lists. An anonymous online post called her a scammer. Sophia deleted her social apps, shut down comments, reminded herself, anger is loudest when you're weakest. She counted every dollar, slashed expenses, drove borrowed cars to rural clients. Then, at a Manhattan Logistics Expo, she met Daniel, well-dressed, charming, always looking like he belonged. He listened to her Morales story, bought her coffee, said, "You need someone who believes in you. I have the network, you have the product." Coffee turned to late-night work sessions. Daniel introduced her to investors, stood behind her during pitches, squeezed her shoulder when she stuttered. A fund finally invested. Grace, her first employee, worked like two people on half a salary. More warehouses signed on. In the dead of night, Sophia called her mother. "Mom, I can pay rent for a whole year." Laura just whispered, "You're stronger than you think." What Sophia didn't know, Henry had called Carter, his longtime aide. "Track Morales' payments. Don't let anyone touch them." Months later, Daniel proposed on a pier, friends cheering, a diamond glittering like the river. Sophia said yes with trembling joy. At their wedding, Evelyn, Daniel's mother, glided like royalty, hugged Sophia with the lightest touch and murmured, "You're sweet, dear, but focus on family. Business is heavy for women." At first, Daniel stayed kind, but family dinners grew sharper. Evelyn asked with velvet smiles, "So, revenue this month? Why such small partners? Do you need someone to rewrite strategy?" Sophia forced a smile. Soon, Daniel asked for system access to help. She trusted him. Evelyn arranged dinners with family friends who were in fact seasoned predators in the market. They praised Sophia's courage, but shared sly glances. One stormy morning, Grace panicked. Accounts frozen. Client data gone. Sophia rushed to the office, soaked. Daniel arrived calm, saying, "I'll call the lawyer." But the lawyer walked in, standing beside Evelyn. "Temporary transfer of management rights," the documents read. The signature looked like Sophia's, but wasn't. "Was it you?" Sophia demanded. Daniel's eyes shifted. "I did what's best for the company." Evelyn sipped her tea, cool and elegant. "Business is for grown-ups, dear. You played, now you pay." That night, Sophia was expelled from her own home, clutching a suitcase. Rain poured as Daniel said coldly, "You'll never be more than a mechanic's daughter." On the sidewalk, under flickering lamps, Sophia broke. She rented a dingy room in Queens, worked at a diner by day, rebuilt code from her battered notebook at night. Grace, placed on unpaid leave, still sent messages, "I'm here." But Sophia's strength drained. She dropped a glass, shards scattering, and for the first time thought of giving up. Henry watched from shadows. Laura placed Sophia's wedding photo on the table. "Hasn't she learned enough?" she asked softly. Henry nodded. "Enough," he called Carter. "Bring her in, but let her choose her fight." Next morning, a grey-suited man knocked on Sophia's door. "I'm Carter. Please come." He handed her a card engraved with the name of a multinational she had only seen in finance news. "You've got the wrong person," Sophia muttered. "No," Carter smiled. He led her into a midtown tower. The elevator doors opened. Henry and Laura stood there. No oil stains, no laundry steam. Henry wore silver cufflinks. Laura, a sleek black suit. Sophia staggered. "Dad? Mom?" Laura embraced her. "We're sorry you suffered. We wanted you to stand. But now you need to know you're not alone." Henry added, "Two choices. 1, we fight for you. 2, we give you tools. You fight. Choose the second." Sophia wiped her tears. "I'll fight." What followed was relentless. Sophia rebuilt systems with grace and new engineers. She collected client testimonies. She sat with Marla, a veteran lawyer. Nights blurred into mornings, bug fixes into evidence logs. Courtrooms became battlegrounds. Opposite her, Daniel looked warm beneath his facade. Evelyn smirked like a private judge. But Sophia stood tall. She presented server logs, client affidavits, forensic proof of Daniel's keylogger. She held up her stained notebook. "These are the bugs I fixed at 4 a.m. in Long Island. If I lacked competence, who wrote this code? And why would someone steal it instead of build their own?" Silence filled the room. Public opinion shifted. Once mocked as a dreamer, Sophia was now defended as a survivor. Small businesses wrote letters of support. A magazine cover called her "The Woman Who Wouldn't Break." Daniel called, voice fractured. "I was pressured, Mom. The board, you know." Sophia listened. "I don't despise you, but I won't give space to anyone who despises me." Months later, her rebuilt platform launched at a Chicago expo. Contracts poured in. Grace, healthy again, stood beside her, glowing. Morales came as a witness in court, declaring, "Her system saved my warehouse." Final verdict: full ownership restored. Damages awarded. Daniel slumped. Evelyn left without a word. That evening, Henry and Laura summoned Sophia to the top floor of their tower. On the table lay a folder. "We kept this from you too long. No reason anymore. The entire group yours. Not because you are our daughter, because you've proven yourself worthy." Sophia hesitated, gazed at the glittering city. She thought of the Queen's boarding room, Grace's rash, Morales's laughter. The rain that night she was cast out. She said, "I'll accept. But I want a fund for small businesses, the ones with no famous names, only real products. And every year, I'll go back not to your garage, Dad, but any garage that needs data solutions." To Liston, Henry laughed, the mechanic's laugh of a tightened boat. Deal. Weeks later, Sophia stood on a San Francisco stage. No gown, just a plain suit. In the audience were young people, other Sophias, just graduated, trembling at unpaid rent, skeptical investors, cruel laughter. She told them about the warehouse nights, the coffee-stained notebook, her list of 3 tasks for tomorrow. "People will look down on you," she said, "because you don't bear their name, because your hands smell of oil, because your shoes are from the discount rack. They'll call it reality. I call it a dirty mirror. You don't need to become them to pass through. Just keep wiping the mirror, one day at a time." In the last row, Henry wore an old cap, Laura a knitted scarf. No one knew they were her parents. They only needed to see their daughter, now a CEO, speaking as someone who had fallen and climbed back. That night, back at her office overlooking the city, Sophia opened the window to let in the cold wind. On the desk lay the old notebook and a new pen. She wrote, "Tomorrow, breakfast with Grace. Call Morales. Review startups. Walk across the bridge. Say thanks." Then added one more line. "Send a warm coat to the old boarding room in Queens." She switched off the lights, listening to the city's heartbeat. She no longer feared being underestimated. She had learned to turn every look downwards into a step upwards. When Carter texted the final schedule for the corporate handover, Sophia replied with one word she had once been too afraid to say at Boston Station.